Riding back down an old dirt track, yeah, I've driven down a few. Somewhere between where I've been and where these wheels are going to. Well, you can take the road that's easy.
So this is as far as we're going to take the Triton on this particular track, because it's pretty hardcore down there, to the point where I'm not even sure I'll be able to get the Troopy back up. But if I can't, it'll be a good chance to show you how to winch safely. Now this hill is really quite soft, so you want to be extra careful your car doesn't go into a slide. I'm going to try and stick to the wheel ruts here and try and avoid the tree. Now usually this is not the smartest thing to be doing, going down a hill when you don't know what's at the bottom. And I can already see a dead end. So if I can turn around, I'll have to winch back up. If I can't turn around, then the good thing is I've got Don back up the hill and he'll be able to reverse winch me up. Turning around a vehicle on a slope like this is never really much fun. It's always heart in your mouth kind of stuff. Because you need to figure out for yourself whether or not your vehicle can handle the side slopes you're putting it on. Now I could probably give this hill a crack and try and get halfway up it, or maybe even get the whole way up, but it's a great example of how to use a winch in a situation like this. Winching really boils down to having a good, healthy respect with how deadly winching can really be if you don't do it right. So always have the right equipment and do it safely. So that means even the little things like using gloves. What I'm going to do now is put the winch in free spool and drag it up to a suitable tree. Once you've got to a tree that you think's suitable, make sure you give it a good look over. Check that there's no dead branches that are going to fall on your head and that the tree's not actually dead itself. Then what you need is a tree protector strap. When you put your tree protector strap around the tree, you obviously want to have it down nice and low to where the stable part of the tree is. Don't have it up high and pulling on a lever like that. Now the shackle you use is really important. Don't ever use a D-shackle or anything that's not rated, because if this lets go, it becomes like a flying piece of shrapnel and could potentially kill someone. You get your shackle, you slide him through the tree protector strap, you put the bolt in. Now there's no need to do the bolt up really, really tight, just finger tight's good enough. Get the cable, unlatch him, slide him through, and you're pretty much done for this part. The next thing is to use a dampener of some sort or a blanket, because obviously when you're winching you're usually on a hill, so you need to have one that can secure firmly to the winch cable so it doesn't slide back down the hill. Now it's really important that you have this on from a safety point of view. If the cable ever should break, this will act like a dampener. It'll stop it recoiling so far and taking your head off. Now that I've finished abseiling my way back down the hill, I'm going to put the winch back into gear and I'll slowly take up the slack. Now that I've taken up most of the slack, it's time to winch the car back up the hill. Winching puts a fair amount of strain on your car's batteries. In fact, it puts a heap of strain on them. So you need to make sure when you're winching that you've got the engine of your car running. You might even like to use the throttle a little bit and get the revs up a bit higher to help get that charge through. And remember, winching's not a race. Most winches need quite a bit of time to cool down and they don't like winching for long periods of time. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. What I'm going to do now is take up the slack. The car's in neutral and I can start to feel it pulling now. Once you get about halfway up the climb or close to the dampener here, it goes without saying you need to hop out of the car and move it slightly further up. When you're doing this, make sure you've left the car in gear so you haven't got your face down near a cable that's holding heaps of energy. Just remember, when you're doing this, just inch your car slightly forward to release tension on the line. Once you've got to a spot where you're confident your car can drive out on its own accord, it's just a matter of packing back up what we unpacked before. Now that the winch is back in, I can drive back up this hill and find out where Don's got to. And to check more TJM four-wheel driving tips, go to tjm.com.au.